So I'm George Emma. I'm 24 years old, and I grew up in south of England, but I moved to Liverpool just under 2 years ago, and I now work here as an architect in training, and I'm a freelance artist on the side. So today I chose to bring along a t-shirt that I designed last year, which was a kind of reflection on the changing of seasons. I designed it as it was turning from autumn into winter, and the nights were drawing in and getting darker. So the t-shirt reads, "The night draws to an end, what the day didn't mend." And the kind of moon figure is drawing the curtain in as the sun is sleeping in a cloud. And I just kind of liked the opportunity this gave me to look at the darker evenings through a kind of hopeful lens. And actually, as we were in lockdown at the time, it was trying to kind of get people to focus on like the cozy evenings ahead and use that as like a hibernation kind of opportunity, I guess, rather than battling with it. So yeah, I think it was quite important for me to make it because it definitely changed my perspective on that time. On those like kind of early winter months when you're getting less light in the evenings, just kind of choosing activities that work with that rather than trying to fight it and like, being angry that the light's gone at 4 and you're still in the office. And I think I sold 120 of them.
Oh, amazing. And didn't you also donate some of the money to a charity as well?
So on a separate campaign, but of a similar design, I donated all my profits to a organisation in Minnesota that were kind of working alongside the Black Lives Matter movement, to bring art workshops to Black communities within Minnesota. I recently put out an open call on Instagram asking people to dress up to stay in and submit kind of curated photographs of themselves in their lockdown homes, but in some element of fancy dress or costume. And I've had a really good response to it so far, and the idea is that I'm going to choose kind of the best ones and like the most, pick a diverse range of submissions to then go and paint at quite a large scale, to put together a series of paintings focusing on like how people have kind of creatively got through lockdown. Because I personally found that when my mood is low or when I'm having a hard week, getting dressed up, even if it's just like getting dressed up in my room and walking 5 steps into the living room and like entering a new space but in costume, like just kind of gives a new lease of life and adds a bit of excitement into quite a monotonous lifestyle right now. So yeah, I've had great feedback, and it's nice to hear that loads of other people have also enjoyed doing exactly that.
What was your sort of inspiration for that? Where did that come from, the idea?
So I have been making paintings of my like New Year's celebrations for quite a few years now, and in the past that's been like lots of friends in one space, and they've been quite dynamic, like animated paintings because of so many people at play. But then this year was so different because it was just me, my mum, my dad and my brother like at home. And yeah, we got dressed up to try and like spruce it up a little bit. And then we kind of, as we were dressed up, we thought, you know what, we look great. Let's like take a photo on self-timer and just like kind of try this like regal portrait, I guess. And I very much had in mind like I'm going to paint this, so like let's like go for it. And I think that element of like having a task to work for, like getting dressed to be painted potentially, really like made us all put more effort in.
How do you feel about Liverpool in general and the community that we have here?
I love it. I absolutely love it. So I moved here for a job and I didn't know anyone. I'd only been to the city once before for the interview, before I kind of like showed up to like start living in this flat and starting this new work. And I was amazed at how people just like greeted me so welcomingly, and friends were made so easily. And I never felt like alone or lonely. It really was like an easy transition to make, and I kind of see myself being here for a really long time now. And I don't know how much that could be said for like other UK cities. I know that people often don't have that experience, like moving somewhere new. So I think that's like a credit to what a great city Liverpool is and how friendly its people are.
Have you got anything to say about sort of the idea of neighbourhood and community?
On a kind of laundry note, I'm painting later this month a mural for Kitty's Laundrette in Anfield. And so we've been in conversation about kind of the importance of the laundrette as a space for people to interact and come together. And yeah, it's like over your kind of daily or your weekly tasks, but making that into something a bit more. And so the design I've made for their front shutters, which is what I'm going to be painting, kind of draws on that. And you've got people interacting from all different communities around there, but with a backdrop of the laundrette behind them. Like as a person that like lives in a flat, I don't feel that engaged with the community around me, but I wish I was, and that's probably a result of moving into this place during the kind of later period of the pandemic. So I've really not had that much interaction with my neighbours. But on an actual, like, I guess, neighbourhood model basis, it's something I find really interesting and exciting, like in architectural terms. And I'm really interested in the ways that people can come together and kind of come up with like sustainable solutions for living, I guess, and how you can tackle like local problems on that scale before, you know, approaching like a wider council or the steps above that to deal with things like how can people actually get together and do things like firsthand. So yeah, I'm excited to eventually become involved in the local community for that reason.
Yeah. Are any of your architecture jobs, have they been around the local community? Or
a couple of bits of work like come in and out, come in through the office, a number of charities in Liverpool that we might be working alongside, but always whenever we're approaching new design projects, we're like working alongside members of the community and like, you know, going to site and really like bringing it in, or like taking it in and absorbing it before we pitch any design for it. So we're always building with the community and the end building users in mind, because like otherwise you often will get, you know, kind of the big architects, that this is quite a sweeping statement to make, but you know, big architects might have like a brand of architecture that they just get a site and they come and they like plonk their style of building there without consulting neighbours for what they actually want to see that space used for. So flipping that on its back, we're like, that's everything we avoid. So we're always working with neighbourhoods. Yeah.